morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkissoon and welcome to the CNC3 Early Morning Show. It is a beautiful Thursday morning. It is Thursday, the 16th of August. How are you today? Did you have a wonderful week so far? It is Thursday morning. To those affected by the floods that occurred over the weekend, you know, you continue to be in our prayers, and I know the cleanup efforts are continuing. The insurance agencies are coming out in full numbers. The regional corporation says they are on the ground, but the opposition is saying that not enough is being done. Human tragedy, human life has been lost. We have a death toll of 2 thus far, but hundreds are still without food, shelter and clothing, and we are appealing to everyone to kindly get out, support, do something. There are a number of community groups that are working. Go to the shelters. They're in need of food and shelter, any canned foods that you have. The numbers are available. You can contact the ODPM for any assistance that you can or you feel that you can give at this time. It is Thursday morning and things have changed up a little bit over the last 12 hours. Our first guest is actually rescheduled, so we're supposed to be having the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago join us this morning, but we thought we'd kind of open our phone lines a little bit to just get your thoughts on all that's happening in the country, after which Colin Imbert, a former Minister of Works and Infrastructure, will be joining us on set. Mr. Imbert over the weekend wrote an interesting story that was published in one of the daily newspapers. He's claiming that all of this could have been avoided, or the losses could have been reduced, or a lot less, if the government had acted in the best interests of the country and stopped playing politics with the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So we'll find out from Mr. Imbert. Why is he saying that? He's not satisfied with the response thus far and saying that the government is not telling the truth as to what's happening. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at Hema_Ramkissoon. I look forward to tweeting with you. And the I4TNT campaign continues. National pride. Let's all rally together and ensure that we are our brothers' keepers. But before we go to our open forum, let's tell you why you should buy the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. And don't forget, it is Thursday morning, so it's the day that you collect the Business Guardian, which still is the #1 business paper in the country. Gives you all the insight into exactly what's happening in the world of business. So to Anthony Wilson and his staff, congratulations on yet another great publication. But let's tell you what else is in the Trinidad Guardian. Government apologizes for Olympians' snub. Sorry, but... the front page there of the Guardian newspaper is a picture of the Minister of Tertiary Education, Fazal Karim, and the President of UTT, Dr. Fazal Ali. A good picture there, Dr. Ali. And we have the Olympic gold medalist, Kishon Walcott. He has agreed to accept his scholarship to UTT and is ready to go into the next semester. The Met Office, more rains are coming. And the ODPM, don't panic. Honours coming for other TT Olympians. Government says sorry, but the government has apologized for an impression created by the fact that other members of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic team were not honoured at Monday's Piarco homecoming celebrations. Now, yesterday we spoke to Minister Anil Roberts, who stated that they were not left out, but another celebrations will be taking place on September 3rd. There seems to be some disagreement as to what his cabinet colleagues are saying. So the TTOC has also come out and stated that they are sorry about the impressions created. So let's see how that pans out. Tomorrow, the TTOC will be joining us on set for the world of sport and what's happening there. Unlucky Cleo. The challenge there, picture of Argentina versus Germany. Argentina won the match 3-1. No surprise there. The superstars of football are actually in the Argentine team. Jose Mourinho, Real Madrid manager. I'm the only one who has won the English, Italian and Spanish championships. So more than the special one, they must begin to call me the only one. A little bit of humility there, but if you're a Real Madrid fan and a Madrista like my friend Cristel, well, you know, I know that no matter what Jose Mourinho does, there can be no wrong. And Amanda Samru gets the applause. Let's give you something to think about while you have your morning cup of coffee. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. I can't remember the author of that famous quote, but I'm going to read it again for you. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. There's another adaptation to that, the Mahatma Gandhi saying, which you can be the change that you want to see in the world and never doubt the power that one individual has in shaping the circumstances of a situation, a country, or even the destiny of an entire people. So start changing, positive change, and you can start by assisting the residents who were affected by the floods that took place over the weekend. The Diego Martin area continues to be a disaster zone. A number of residents are still without food, shelter, and clothing. A number of NGOs and government agencies have come together to assist in relief efforts. Kindly do your part to ensure that we take care of our own. And don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at Hema_Ramki soon. I'll see you after this break.
You're talking to your best friend when
you're going to clean their family.
You get cash back.
Yeah, darling.
You're talking to your best friend when you realize you're always a winner. You're talking to your best friend when you get a makeover. You suddenly feel like dancing. Every dog gets its day. You have your cake and eat it too. Night falls. You're talking to your best friend. Whatever else happens, always get extraordinary value with Digicel. Get $1 cash back for every paid minute on local Digi-to-Digi calls made during the day, so you can talk more at night. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Baker Enterprises of Trin City and Abercrombie Street has a wide selection of newly designed independent supplies and party decorations. You can also find a wide range of locally inspired polos and souvenirs. Give us a visit at 79 Abercrombie Street or Trin City. Baker Enterprises Limited, the one preferred by customers.
We are touched by your smiles and your friendships, by your appreciation of the past and your ability to see the future. We're motivated by your drive and your willingness to try new things. We are fascinated that even though you are so very different, you still see yourself as so very much the same. We are energized by how hard you work and your ability to have a good time, by your pride and your passion. We are moved by your every new beginning and wonderful end. Every day we're inspired by your likes and your lives, and we'll continue to challenge ourselves to remain a big part of them both. Bermudez, biscuits we love.
Feel the rhythm with Casey Candy Sweet Pan. This selected package filled with delightful Casey candies. Experience this sweet mint sensation for generations. Our souvenir of Trinidad and Tobago. So take home a Sweet Pan today. Casey Candy, we do make every moment sweeter. Call 636-2360 to place your orders now.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkissoon. Thanks so much for inviting us into your homes this morning. Thank you for making us part of your morning ritual. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at Hema_Ramkissoon. Well, the Attorney General has rescheduled the interview for this morning, so we're going to open our phone lines for a little bit. 624-8721, 627-8658. I'd like to hear your thoughts on all that's happening in our country, and so much is happening in our country. So much grief, so much sorrow, so much despair. Cleanup efforts are continuing. The insurance agencies are saying that they are prepared and willing and able to meet all of the claims that will be made over the next 24 to 48 hours. Let's take our first caller for this segment. Shagonas, good morning. Hello. Hello. Hello, good morning. Okay, 625-721, 627-8658. Our phone lines are open. We seem to have some difficulty with that call. Don't be shy if you call it, I'm pretty sure. You can say what you have to say, but please be respectful when you share your comments with Trinidad and Tobago. Flood of pain, the headline on one of the daily newspapers today. Government apologizes for the Olympians' snub. Sorry, but... Let's take a quick call from San Fernando. San Fernando, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. Okay, maybe we're having some difficulties with our phone lines this morning. So, hello, good morning.
And a pleasant good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. And like all the other Trinidadians, admiring you as usual.
Oh, thank you.
I would like to echo my congratulations to our hero and all the athletes at the recently concluded games. And my condolences to the loss of life in the recent flood and to all those who would have suffered. However, I have one concern, one thing that bothers me, and I'm hoping that you or somebody might be able to help me this morning.
Sure.
I've been listening to the media, and over the past few days, most of the media stations and media outlets, even the newspapers, talk about, in some way or the other, the need for the pouring of more money into the development of our local talent vis-a-vis our athletes.
Right.
And pouring more government spending more into the development of facility and that kind of thing. And then I started wondering, is this Trinidad and Tobago? For even the Minister of Sports bash the development of the Tuba Stadium on the basis that it was taking too much money. And now we are saying, pour more money into the development of facility for our athletes. Is this Trinidad and Tobago? Can you help me, ma'am? I'm going to listen off the line.
Thanks so much, caller. Well, yesterday the Minister of Sport did say that they are going to improve the facilities. I know with the Choruba Stadium, a number of issues surrounded that development. One, there were procurement issues. And two, the design, I think a number of sports personalities came out and they stated that they were not satisfied. I can't say for a fact, but I know that there were procurement issues and also there were some issues with the design, a number of changes made to the original plan. So there was tremendous cost overruns with that project. Let's take another quick call. Hello, good morning. Belmont, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. Okay. 624-8721. Hello. 624-8721, 627-8658. Hopefully we'll get that problem resolved pretty soon. But our phone lines are open. We're continuing to look at all that's happening with the country. We're going to take a very short break. Hopefully we'll figure out exactly what's happening with our phone lines this morning. I'll see you in a few minutes after this.
Have you noticed the strange visitor crawling around in your yard or surroundings? Perhaps you've not been looking. The giant African snail is in Trinidad, and it has the potential to eat all our food crops and spread disease. The shell is reddish-brown in color with creamish stripes. Most mature snails will reach about 20 centimeters in length, with an average length of 6 centimeters. They come out mainly at night, but may be seen in early evening and after rainfall. If you see the giant African snail, take action immediately. Call the hotline at 647 846-6284 or email a photo to snailreport@gmail.com. A message from the Ministry of Food Production, Land and Marine Affairs.
Celebrate Eid with special offers on natural health and beauty products from Modern Caribbean Enterprises Limited. To stimulate the natural healing of the body, reduce the intake of medication, and regain your health naturally. Experience amazing results from lupus, diabetes, arthritis, yeast and kidney problems, even clogged arteries. You can also slow down aging, improve skin conditions, and get a slimmer figure the natural way at Modern Caribbean Enterprises Limited, Gulf City Mall, Hadid Center Mall, and Price Plaza, Chaguanas. Phone 653-0011.
In a child's world, it's all about adventure. In yours, it's all about their health. Haliborange can help. Made from specially formulated vitamins and DHA omega-3, Haliborange helps maintain growth, a healthy immune system, and healthy brain function. With the right nutrients, the possibilities are astronomical. Haliborange. Let kids shine.
What is an accent color? An accent color is a color that stands apart from any of the other colors within a room. Accent colors appear less frequently in a color scheme, but as a result often have the greatest effect. Used wisely, they are excellent for highlighting architecture and furnishings within a space.
Completed dreams bring a lifetime of happiness. Lifetime Solutions can make it all real. With windows, doors, and roofing styles, you can choose your design. Just tell us your budget and we'll find the right fit. We are innovation ahead of the game. So affordable, Lifetime Solutions. You can trust your roof to us. Lifetime Solutions.
Lifetime Solutions. You can trust your roof to us.
Register now for AmCham TNT's 16th annual HSSE Conference and Exhibition, September 26th and 27th. Be part of this informative experience as we explore the theme HSSE Excellence, Pathway to Sustainable Development, with featured speaker Robert F. Kennedy Jr., visionary environmental business leader and advocate. For details, call 622-4466 or 628-2508, extension 225, or visit www.amchamtt.com. That's www.amchamtt.com.
If your guests are pests, then call General Pest Control. We offer effective treatment using the latest technology against termites, rats, roaches, mosquitoes, ants, mice, pigeons, and lots more. Total eradication, guaranteed jobs, no callbacks. Get a 10% discount as an introductory offer with free estimates and inspections. Centrally located in Caroni, or call 645-4871. General Pest Control. Satisfaction guaranteed. It's super deals at Super Quality, now open at Trin City Industrial Estate. More than an acre of shopping. Get super deals in supermarket, kitchen, dining, electronics, and more. Look out for hamper giveaways and great deals. Now open at Trin City Industrial Estate. Super deals at Super Quality.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramsoon. Thanks again for staying with us, and thank you for inviting us into your morning today and making us part of your morning activities. Thank you for inviting us into your homes. 624-8721, 627-8658. Our phone lines are open. We had a few changes to our guest list this morning. Our first guest unavoidably cannot be here due to a change in circumstances. So hopefully we'll get to rearrange that interview. Chaguanas, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Hema. Let me say congratulations to Mr. Walcott and all other persons who participated in the Olympics. I was very proud of them, but I was very grieved when I realized they were being slighted. Now, Hema, I have a concern about the way in which this government do things. Our economy is so bad.
Right.
And at this time, they chose to give a holiday on Monday. All the other first world countries won so many medals, but they didn't give a holiday. we are trying to move from one phase to another as a developing country. Government got to think differently in the way they do things. We have disaster in Diego Martin. You have a lot of regional corporation workers were given a holiday to stay home instead of they coming out to assist the people in that disaster area. To crown it off, you had Jack Warner coming on the television and speaking about all of the other ministers did not approve of the holiday, excepting him and the Prime Minister. He is speaking about the success of the holiday. What is he measuring this against? Is he measuring this against the economy, against those monies that had to be paid out to people who had to stay at home, against the negative use for those people in Diego Martin? What is he measuring it against?
Thank you so much, caller. Let's take a quick call from Maraval. Maraval, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Hema, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First of all, I'd just like to remember one thing. Common sense is not a very common thing. I would love to get that gentleman who wants to know about Taruba to take his villagers and have a football game in the middle of the pitch lake and see if it'll work. So I'm moving away from that and all these nonsense. What I'd just like to find out is one thing.
Sure.
London just hosted a fantastic Olympics where crowd patronage and by moving the marathon from the stadium to the public areas, it was fantastic. Why, for Carnival, we have to have every single thing in the savannah? We have 10 lovely buildings around the savannah that the government owns. We have Napa. Why can't we have programs like Kiddies Carnival finishes in somewhere else so it doesn't have to finish at 6 o'clock in the evening? Panorama starts 8. And we have so many buildings and so many areas. We could take the central focus away from the savannah. Have the savannah for the big occasions and have the other occasions, the king and queens and Napa and that, and let the whole country have a permanent village of Carnival, not one spot. Thank you.
Thanks so much, caller, and thank you for that contribution. Hopefully the Minister of Arts and Multiculturalism will be listening. We have another quick call. Hello, good morning. San Fernando, good morning. Hello. 648-721-6786.
Yeah, morning, Emma.
Oh, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Emma. Thank God, I thank God for the holiday because it had its...
Hello. Yeah? Okay, 648.
Yeah, Emma, what I'm saying, right, the holiday was very important. It was impromptu, but it was important that we acknowledge.
Okay, caller. 648-721-678-658. Quick house rules before you call in. Listen on your telephone set and not on your television. And kindly lower the volume. So you're going to be speaking with me, but everyone else will hear you. You don't have to listen on your television set. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Emma.
Good morning.
Yeah, this country is a real joke, you know. It's a real Mickey Mouse country. According to Stalin, the mighty Stalin had found Calypso a few years ago, that everybody now to run the country. All the PhD and the DHP and the AZ and the all the different figures and numbers know to run it. And when they get that chance to run, they can't run it. If the Prime Minister didn't declare holiday or she didn't do anything, you would hear the other set of fanatics saying she never did anything. Now she did, they still crying her dog. Do if you don't, damn if you do. Same thing.
Thanks so much. Let's take a quick call from Maloney. Maloney, good morning.
Morning, Hema. It look beautiful this morning.
Oh, thank you.
And how are you this morning?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Glad to know the other day that I realized that you're a Gemini like myself and you're outlet. The most serious part. Congratulations to all the athletes. To all the athletes who did us proud and who made it to the finals, who even won bronze. Special congratulations to Mr. Walcott and so on. The holiday was very good because people would have still leave work if they knew he was coming in and go up in the airport and have their own mass.
Okay.
Right. Also, two other things I'd like to raise.
Okay, quickly.
What about the CLICO payment? I would like to find out what is going on with the CLICO money for the CLICO people like myself. And B, I think it's time the government start to pay out NIS at age 55. They are giving you early retirement at 50, but you have to wait till 60 for your NIS. Are they trying to wait to see how much people could pass away? So I think it's very important that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, get our money.
Thanks so much, caller. Coco Reed, good morning.
Morning, Ms. Ramkissoon.
Good morning.
The idea to welcome Kishon was a very good idea, but it was badly implemented.
Right.
And definitely the idea to call a holiday less than 24 hours wasn't a good idea. Kishon could have been welcomed in the manner that he was, although I had a problem with the other athletes that came with him who were sidelined, and one newspaper say they were snubbed. That was very bad. But the holiday could have been announced for the 3rd of September when you proposed to have all the athletes there and so on. And the business sector would have had sufficient time to prepare for that holiday. But to announce a holiday in such a short time puts that may go into hundreds of millions.
Oh, sorry, but let's take a quick call. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, hello. Good morning, Hima.
Good morning. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the celebration which took place with Kishon Walcott. I thought the government did the correct thing because we had to honor the young man for having bought a gold medal trying to go after some 36 years. My only bone of contention was I thought that the celebration wasn't well planned in that when they left the airport and they went for the motorcade, there were a lot of stoppages along the route which would have been expected. And as a result, the young man, after such a long plane flight, didn't get to Toko until sometime after 1.
Yeah,
And the people in Toko were quite disappointed. In fact, I understand, based on a newspaper report, that Dr. Rupert Griffith, the parliamentary representative up there, was booed. And Dr. Rudal Munial, who was interviewed by the media, said that the delay wasn't unexpected. Now, I mean, he said that it was caused largely by the enormous outpouring of love and support for World Cup. But what would you expect with a motorcade for a gold medal winner? There would be delays, and the guy has to go quite up the Toko.
Right.
So I thought that celebratory part of the occasion was not well thought out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, callers. Let's take a quick call from Shagonis. Shagonis, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Hema.
Hi.
Hema, I am a Petrotrin retiree after working for 33 years with Petrotrin, and I was very, very pleased to see that Petrotrin has voted $2 million to start preparing athletes for the next Olympics. But as a retiree of Petrotrin, and I belong to the Petrotrin medical plant, I wish Petrotrin can pay some attention to its retirees who has to go and line up at 4 o'clock in the morning outside the dispensary at Pointe-a-Pierre to get medicine. It's really, really hard for us because if you come and do a survey down there every morning, every week, you'll see people lining up from 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, caller. Let's take a quick call from Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, good morning.
Hi, Hema, good morning.
Good morning.
Hema, you know you're damn if you do and you're damn if you don't.
True.
If they didn't do anything, you would have heard the complaint. All of a sudden, we have people studying the economy. Now, Hema, these same set of people who clock their cards and then go and sell ice cream, they're talking about the economy. But since when we don't like holidays, Hema, but I am glad that they did what they did for them. Kishon deserved his all that he got, separated from the others. And then, because according to Anna Roberts, none of the medalists were there. Hema, one more thing though, NIS. You know how long, for the longest while, we are trying to get statements of our contribution.
Really?
And up to now that we can't get it. I don't know what it is going on with NIS. And Hema, a lot of people came out on Monday to help the people in Diego Martinez. We were all there. Groups of us went down. A lot of people were there. We cooked, we went down, helping people. So it was no wasted holiday. Hema, have a good day.
Thank you so much, Santa Cruz. And I would like to say thank you for showing, your love and support to the country. And we hope that other people really take a cue from that and go out and help the residents of Diego Martin. A lot of them are still without food, shelter and clothing. Let's take another quick call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, President, good morning to you, and as usual, you do a great job and you look as beautiful as ever.
Thank you.
Let me start by saying, first of all, I thought it was a very cruel act that took place on that day of the holiday. First, let me state You know, sometimes a person will have a christening for a little baby.
Right.
And they have a big party and music jamming whole night and the baby in the crib suffering whole night, but they're celebrating that christening. This is what transpired. After a 9-hour flight that was delayed in the airport, so therefore you're talking about 12 hours being up, at least 12 hours, then to have another 12-hour road show, as the case may be. It was a brutal thing to do to those youngsters. It was a wicked act, as a matter of fact. Be thankful to the government for whatever was given to the people on our behalf, because it's taxpayers' money. But what went on was not thought out, was really a wicked thing and should never happen again. In addition to that, I am saying that I felt that the young man should have been given at least 10 acres of land. His father is a planter, his father works in agriculture.
Sure.
And therefore that would be a motivation to young people, in particular young African people, that, hey, get back to the land is good, so that the agricultural aspect of it, in addition to the sporting complex that could be built in his area, if he naming everything after him, to me that doesn't do anything.
Okay. Thanks so much, caller. Let's take a quick call for San Fernando before we take a break. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning.
My take is that we have to be responsible in what we're saying. I mean, to say everything worked out was impromptu. The holiday was impromptu. But the government had no other choice, and the people came out in their thousands to acknowledge the sportsmen, right? And I say hats off to Anil, because it's he that gave this young man this piece of instrumental too, which is in a form of a javelin that brought glory to himself and, in extension, his government. And
okay. Thanks so much. Let's take a quick call from Point Fortin, and we'll take a very short break. Hello, good morning.
Hima, good morning, Hima.
Good morning.
All these people who call it and conflict, these fellas are young fellas, they are Trinidadian.
Mm-hmm.
They are Trinidadian. What Trinidad? I hear the African complaining about too tired and all that. I thank the government for all what they did for these people. I never hear Kishwan complain about, oh, you set up too late or anything. So let all these people who talking, let them just hush them out. Thank you.
Thanks so much, caller, for sharing your views this morning. Our phone lines are open. We had some changes to our rundown, so hopefully the Attorney General will be able to join us on set next week or very early in the not-too-distant future. But we thought we'd kind of open our phone lines and find out what you think about what's happening in our country. We're taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue to take your phone calls. Stay with us.
If someone has a cold drink and ice cream, they'll get that short, sharp shock of pain. In order to have sensitivity, you'll have some dentine exposed. The dentine has got these little tiny holes, or little tiny tubules. Cold travels down these tubules, hits off the nerve, and this is how we get pain. Not a day goes by that I don't recommend Sensodyne to my patients. Sensodyne travels down these little pores and calms the nerve down. It's a no-brainer. What we recommend is what works, and what we recommend is Sensodyne.
At Auto Accessories R Us, we wholesale and retail the latest models and brands of automotive accessories to meet your needs. A variety of alarm systems, projector headlights, HIDs, LED taillights, fog lamps, parking sensors, DVD screens, chrome accessories for all models of vehicles, and much more. Our staff is courteous, efficient, and qualified to carry out installation of all products while you wait. So come into our store and let us accessorize your ride.
It's healthy and brand new, straight from Ramsarans to you. It's the pasteurized, reconstituted milk from Ramsarans. It's nut and GM-free, vegetarian, and it's gluten-free. A healthy choice for you and me. Thank you, Ramsarans. It's the brand new, reconstituted milk from Ramsarans. Ramsarans Dairy Products, your healthy choice.
The 50 most influential personalities since independence. We want your view via text on Facebook and online at 50tt.guardian.co.tt.
There's really one bank you can depend on. Friendly service every day. There's really one standard of treating you like you deserve to be. Yeah. Republic is only the best to you. We get personal attention, so explain for your inspection. feeling, yeah. Get a feeling that I never had before. Don't know, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes.
Surf, stream, share faster than ever before on Digicel's super fast 4G network. It's summer in 4G. Get your smartphone with a smart plan on the smartest network in TNT. Sign up for our newest postpaid smart plans now. Plus, for a limited time, get 1 month subscription free and 4G smartphones for $199. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkissoon. Thank you again for inviting us into your homes this morning. Well, we had some changes to our rundown, so we thought we'd open our phone lines for a little bit. Not very often we get to interact with all of our viewers, all of our guests, and all those who make the show possible. I understand we have a call on the line from Marival. Marival, good morning.
Good morning, Hema.
Hi, good morning.
You know, Hema, to those people who are complaining about the holiday and about the reception being a wrong timing and so on, I want them to go back into the past. Didn't Dr. Eric Williams go and greet Miss Penny Commission when she won Miss Universe at the airport? Wasn't there a motorcade through the streets of Port of Spain when she arrived? I don't understand what the problem is. If they did not have a welcoming reception, people would have complained that there was no welcoming reception for our heroes. Thank you, Hema.
Thanks so much, Marival. 624-8721, 627-8658. Our phone lines are open. Quick house rules. Listen on your telephone set and not on your television. Port of Spain, good morning.
Hi, pleasant morning to you, Hema.
Hi, good morning.
You're doing a great job as usual.
Thank you.
You look great.
Thank you.
I want to commend Keyshawn Walcott on his achievements and actually Team TNT, all those who went to the Olympics. And I want to say that the welcome home celebration was great, was grand. But I want to make one observation.
Sure.
The vehicle that was chosen for Keyshawn to travel in, imagine a guy 6 feet 5 inches tall, but you chose a vehicle that could hold somebody who is 6 feet tall, and therefore he was bending.
Right, yeah.
And you know, only last night on a television station, I heard his brother said he actually suffered with back problems all the time. So that just concretized
right, yes.
that. But all in all, it was great. I am sorry for the people who in Toko who had to wait so long.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Thanks so much, Port of Spain. Thank you for calling. I think we have another call on the line. San Fernando, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Hema.
Good morning.
The problem is that it's not about the celebration. I have no problem with the celebration. But the problem is that the government, because of lack of experience, and because that they got rid of all the persons with experience in the various ministries,
true, I understand
they end up in
yes.
that problem, right? Because the persons with the experience and the knowledge to plan those events, they didn't use them, and it was more of a partisan thing than a national thing. If they had used it, used the expertise in the ministries, the persons who knew about planning these events, and used the proper persons to do the thing, it would have come off to that. As I said, I noticed how even the Prime Minister, and she's not very much tall, has to be bending in that unit that they were traveling in. And you cannot have people expecting you at a time in Toko.
Right.
You plan an event, have them waiting, and then 1:30 in the morning you reach in there. You need to have proper plan, and that's the issue with this government.
True.
Right?
Thanks so much, caller. And I guess I live in hope one day that we can actually be a country that's run away in terms of the institutions can be separate from partisan views, where we actually look at the good of the country when making decisions, as opposed to whether you're part of the People's Partnership, part of the PNM, or part of any other political entity. Let's take another quick call. Coco Reed, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Ms. Ramkissoon.
Good morning.
Ms. Ramkissoon, while I'm not a guest on your set, I am your guest through the telephone as a caller.
You are.
When I call you to make a contribution, I think it is your responsibility to ensure that your program doesn't come a tete-a-tete between callers. And I think it was unfair to me a while ago for someone to mention that I leave my job to sell ice cream and you didn't stop
no,
them.
I didn't. I actually...
I want to emphasize in my own defense now that 30 years ago, when my children were small, I had reason to sell ice cream to educate them.
Right.
And today, I have educated a lawyer, a chartered accountant, 2 teachers, and another one who is in Canada making a contribution and flying the flag of Trinidad and Tobago. 30 years ago, I sold ice cream. I have been an employee of the port, and I never left my work at any time to sell ice cream, and it is unfortunate that a member of the UNC Committee for Mischief is making that statement on your program. And you should have stopped them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Actually, I did not hear the comment, so I do apologize for that. And congratulations on you doing a great job with your children. Let's take another quick call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Hema, and to all the people.
Good morning.
Congratulations to all the Olympic participants, including the gold medalists. You know, but I think you need to have on your program someone with medical knowledge to talk about the impact of when people get adrenaline rush, like how he did in that Olympic thing, taking a long flight with what they call jet lag, and then having a long drive to his hometown, where we allowed so much people on the road. If we had planned this holiday probably on Saturday or Friday coming, it would have given his body time to recuperate and not have this problem, probably psychological impact, knowing how much gifts he has received on his homecoming. I would like to get a medical, someone with medical knowledge to tell me what will be his long-term impact.
Okay.
You know,
Thank you so much. We have a caller from Pittiboo. Pittiboo, good morning. Hello.
You see, this country, politics is going to send people mad. Now, how could our prime minister just get up, jump up just like that and declare a holiday 5 hours before the holiday? You have business and all kind of things. They have plenty of money, you know, because they're talking about economy. And then, but you could call a holiday just so look how many holidays we have in this month already. That is one. Because you could have planned that for another. Toko is not, first of all, you're going from here to down, even Shagaramas, because it's a different thing if you have a clearance on the road here. Toko Road is a hell of a place to carry a motorcade like that. Imagine they coming from London, about 9 hours flight, and then going on a journey like that. That is real sheer madness. I mean, somebody has to advise us, Prime Minister. We should go in everything can be politics too in the country. As the lady first caller from Harvard talking etc. thing about this.
Thanks so much, caller.
It's not a party thing, man. You have to think about the facts of the whole thing.
Thanks so much, caller. 624-871-627-8658. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hema, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
You know, to all the critics, they're talking about the Gumartin flood and complaining about it. And I will tell you, my family lived there, and they're quite satisfied with the response. Not only them, a lot of people around the area are satisfied with the response. And to those who are the critics for the Gumartin flood and also for the motorcade, we all know the agenda. Everybody knows who they are. They're never satisfied. Thank you, dear.
Thanks so much. Let's take another quick call. 624-8721-627-8658. Our phone lines are open. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, ma'am. First time caller.
Oh, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, it is a very bad idea for the Prime Minister to call a holiday.
Why do you think that is, Sue?
Well, oh gosh, so much holidays already. The country is down. Nothing is doing, right? It's just big public relations, right? And we love the Olympians. Everybody, we go for them, we shout for them. We love them. They are our sons of daughters of the soil, right? But to call a holiday just to stop production in this country when things is down is madness, right? And Hema, you're doing a lovely job, right? And you see this country as it's going down, you should be in Hollywood, not behind a TV, man. You're too beautiful to be there.
Oh, thank you. Let's take another quick call. Hello, good morning, Jago Martin.
Hello, morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Ma, listen, you know, I think the planning for the holidays should have been a more organized kind of thing. But, you know, in the hype of everything and the excitement of everything, everybody just wanted to do something immediately. I know I'm a person like that. I just get things off the bat and run with everything. But this judgmental thing of this not doing this and this government partisan, all this nonsense, let us get away from that. Let us honor the young man. He deserves it. I mean, the other athletes, we're going to get together, as she said, that they will do for them. And just stop the foolishness. Stop the foolishness. She didn't do, they talk. They do, they talk. What is it really we people in Trinidad want to do? You know, we go abroad, we say other things, we make no comment. But the things that happen in Trinidad, let me tell you something. Two things I would not go the way I want to go, but one thing that is detrimental to that, our Prime Minister, one, she's a woman. They don't like women to be in power. Sorry. Good day, darling. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, and you have a blessed day as well. Let's take a quick call from St. James. St. James, good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Ma, I'm calling to talk about the government's proposals for having a flag in every home.
Sure.
It's a beautiful idea, but Emma, have you ever seen how many times the flag is flown incorrectly?
Yes.
Even in the motorcade and the celebrations, everybody had a flag. But once that flag comes out, it's stick. And they put it back on. They put it back incorrectly. And flags are being flown incorrectly all over the place, even when they have international functions and so on. I think we need to have a bit of education to show everybody how the flag should be flown. That's my comment this morning. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for calling. And we have a caller from Tobago. Tobago, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I just like to say people, you can't please people in truth. Because if you Tuesday the 7th, when they had a meeting in Arima, when we didn't get no goal, and the lovely senator was trying to cry down the government and say, but we ain't get no goal. But she didn't realize God in all this, the 11th, the goal come. They was just shouting and clapping when she talked about that. And now they are saying something else. But God is good. Thank you.
God is good and God has a plan. We now take a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue to take your calls. Stay with us.
Come to Unique Books and Sports Center. We've got all your new school books for both primary and secondary schools at the lowest prices. Save money with our instant cashback when you bring your used secondary school books. We have a wide selection of book bags, stationery supplies, uniforms, and many in-store specials. Get 33 and 30% off all school shoes. Shop now and receive our exclusive 50-year commemorative pin absolutely free. Be sure to visit Unique Books and Sports Center now, with convenient branches located at Port of Spain, San Fernando, Chaguanas, and Pinal.
Chic Lucia Limited, leading manufacturers of vermicelli, split piece powder, greaseproof paper, manufacturers of a variety of paper and plastic bags, bags for French fries, sandwiches, popcorn, supermarket stores, and more. Whatever your needs, trust to Chic Lucia Limited for quality products.
To be equal, to live in a society that responds to you without prejudice, to be treated fairly no matter what your background may be. Regardless of race or religion, regardless of geographic location, gender, or any disability you may have. It's not just an idea we should live by, but an ideal that our children can look up to, that our communities can aspire to, that our employers must embrace. But it's more than that. It is the right of every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. It is a right that is championed and upheld by the Equal Opportunity Commission. The EOC is about educating, breaking down barriers, and eliminating obstacles to truly empower people on the basis of their merit. This is the mission of the Equal Opportunity Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. Equality is everyone's dream. It's everyone's right.
Enjoy hassle-free shopping at South's premier beauty store, One Stop Beauty Essentials. They carry a wide range of leading brands and personal care products at reasonable prices, including cosmetics, fragrances, and everything for your nails and hair. 100% Remy, human and synthetic wigs, weaves, and braids are also available. Shop in comfort at One Stop Beauty Essentials, your one-stop beauty shop, conveniently located at 52 Sutton Street, San Fernando. Secure parking available. Like them on Facebook or call 652-0080.
This Independence Day is special. So at Subway for the whole month of August, the treat's on us. That's right. When you buy any foot-long Subway sandwich during August, we will give you a treat free. Choose from any of our decadent offerings. Cookies, muffins, brownies, even Soldanza chips. So stop by any of our 42 Subway stores for your next footlong and let us treat you. Happy Independence Day. Subway, eat fresh.
Located at number 8 Forest Avenue, Coquille Village, San Fernando, Comfort Cooling is the ideal choice for all your residential and commercial air conditioning needs.
York International is proud to announce that Comfort Cooling is our authorized dealer for all mini splits manufactured by York. We are confident that Comfort Cooling has the qualified engineers and technicians to do the design and installation of our units.
So, give us a call at 652-6378.
Cricket, lovely cricket.
Our cricketers, our heroes, a nation forged from the love of cricket.
Come celebrate Trinidad and Tobago's half-century with 2020 for 50 Cricket Festival, featuring the TNT and Jamaica national teams, and our very own Brian Lara and Darren Ganga all-star teams with regional and international cricket stars. Queen's Park Oval, August 24th to 26th. 2 games daily, 2:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. Get your 2020 for 50 tickets today at selected sports and games outlets and Queen's Park Ticket Outlet.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramsoon. Thanks again for staying with us. We have a call on the line from Diego Martin. Diego Martin, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hi, Emma. Good morning to you. As usual, you look beautiful, and that witty smile I always look forward to that witty smile.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm begging you to please try and get someone on your program from the EMA to do something about the rubbish that floats, our seas, like down the islands. You see all the rubbish floating, and that is constantly being thrown into the rivers, and once it rains, you actually see it floating all over the place. I mean, something has to be done about that. We need to really get tough on the environment here. Thank you.
We do. Thanks so much, Diego Martin. Let's take another quick call. Hello, good morning. Hello. San Fernando, good morning. Hello. Okay. 624-8721, 627-8658.
Good morning, Emma.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, I was making a point just now where you cut me off, man.
Well, you see, we're trying to facilitate as many callers as we can this morning. So we ask our callers to make their contributions as quickly as they can. What would you like to add? Arima, good morning. Hello.
Hey, man, good morning.
Good morning.
All those critics such as Polly and that guy in Cookery, the critics keep criticizing this government. I wanted to ask them for me, what Hazy Crawford got? Does the same government have to come after all these years and name that national stadium after Hazy Crawford? That is why I see Hazy Crawford is still so close and loyal to this government. Ask them for me what he got when he came back with his gold medal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's take another quick call. Hello, good morning. Diego Martin, hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. I remember years back when the Soca Warriors made the World Cup, Mr. Manning granted a holiday at that point, I believe, when they beat Bahrain in the match. And a lot of critics were against Mr. Manning for calling that holiday. You know, the same people who defending Kamala today in her stand for a holiday, the same people I'm sure were criticizing Manning. So at the end of the day, politics does play, so I just see the problem later.
Thank you. Let's take a quick call from Laventil. Laventil, good morning.
Hey, ma'am.
Hi.
Beautiful morning. You look very beautiful also.
Thank you.
I would like to say that this dust 40 p.m. is a waste of, really and truly, according to the people out there, the national security with the fire service and the army, with the regional corporations bringing in all the equipment to the disaster area, and immediately, without a doubt, this would have been looking much better with the cooperation of all these bodies, instead of people still complaining about they haven't even seen.
Okay. Thanks so much, caller. We've come to the end of our open forum segment. I'm Hema Ramkusum. We now go straight to the 7 a.m. newscast. When we come back, a former Minister of Works and Infrastructure, Colin Limbird, will be joining us on set. I'll see you after this.
Good morning, I am Chester Sambrano, and this is Headline News on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. The Trinidad and Tobago Olympic athletes, including gold medalist Keyshawn Walcott, will today distribute hampers to residents of Diego Martin, who were affected by last weekend's flooding and landslides. The tour will take a form of a motorcade and will start from 11 a.m. at Wrightson Road in Port of Spain, and will proceed west to Diego Martin swimming pool, and then would head to the Caranage Recreation Grounds. And another motorcade in Tobago this coming Sunday as part of the ongoing celebrations of the performances of the Olympic athletes at this year's Games. However, Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Orville London, says he would have preferred the government to collaborate with the THA in the hosting of the celebrations.
I don't believe that anything he gets that he doesn't deserve. And I am hopeful that, that the young fellow is level-headed enough so that he will not allow, the accolades to go to his head, but that he will remain focused and ensure that the accolades and the praises and the rewards and so on will serve to inspire him.
Meanwhile, National Security Minister Jack Warner says Monday's holiday did not receive the full support of the cabinet. But despite some opposition from inside, Minister Warner says Monday's national holiday for Keyshawn Walcott united this country in a way that hasn't been seen in a very long time.
The vast majority said no. And two of us said yes. And we gave the reason why we said yes. And boy, it was a big fight. No, all we looked and thing and so on.
To some other news, oil production at Petrotrin's Trinma operations has been stalled after almost 900 workers walked off the job. CNC3 understands that workers downed tools as far back as last week Tuesday. The union has accused Petrotrin of failing to honor in a timely fashion a number of clauses in a recent collective bargaining agreement. Speaking with CNC3 yesterday, Petrotrin President Khalid Hassan Ali said the issue has to do with tardy payments by contractors to workers.
The accusation by the union in the Trinma operations in Point Fortin was that some contractors were maybe a bit tardy in paying those particular rates. And that's what happened. Some of those concerns were expressed yesterday and some more today.
Mr. Hassan Ali says it's an issue that the union is addressing and hopes it will be resolved soon. But he admits that the stoppages at Trinma has negatively impacted oil production levels. In some sports news, Petrotrin has taken the lead in what is expected to be a massive talent identification and support drive toward the 2016 Olympic Games to be held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Quick on the heels of Trinidad and Tobago's 2012 Olympic Games success, the oil and gas company is pledging $2 million to the initiative, which will fund the development of emerging and as yet unsponsored athletes in 4 sporting disciplines. Stay with us. We'll have another news update at the top of the hour, and our major newscast is at 7 this evening, right here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramsoon. Thanks so much for staying with us, and thank you for inviting us into your homes. Joining us on set, the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin Northeast, Colin Imbert, a former minister in the government of Trinidad and Tobago. He's been, he's worked in several ministries, and this morning he's had to share his thoughts on what is happening in the Diego Martin area. Over the weekend, several areas in Diego Martin were basically virtually cut off from the rest of the country. It has been declared a disaster area. Hundreds of residents are still without food, shelter, clothing. The Minister of Works and Infrastructure joined us on set on Tuesday morning. He has stated, one, that this was an abnormal situation. The rainfall was not as expected, and there was nothing they could have done to have avoided the situation. The situation could not have been avoided, and that the disaster relief efforts have been well coordinated, and that everything is being done to ensure that a degree of normalcy returns to the affected residents in the shortest space of time. Mr. Imbert wrote a letter which was published in one of the daily newspapers, in where he has claimed that the minister and those in the ministry are not telling the full truth about the matter. Mr. Imbert, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Well, Hema, thanks for being here. I mean, I'm glad to be here, although I love my beauty sleep.
I know. The mornings are not your thing.
Yeah.
Works ministry.
I didn't actually say that. I didn't say they weren't telling the truth. Because, I mean, my comments were made long before Mr. George spoke on your program. And if I just go back a couple of months, it was in June of this year that I had highlighted the fact that all of the main water courses in the Diego Martin area were full of bush and mud and rocks and debris and so on. And that because we had had such a terrible flood in November of 2011, and the rivers and ravines had not been cleared since then, that unless the government moved proactively, quickly, and cleared these rivers, we would have terrible flooding again in 2012. That was 2 months ago. I think it was the 15th of June. I wasn't taken seriously. It was treated as a big joke by the government. Now we have this situation. Now the flood has already happened. I've heard what you said about what Mr. George said. I mean, that's ridiculous. I understand he admitted that the contracts for the dredging work and so on have been awarded, but the work has not yet been done. I understand he admitted that. So here you have a government minister, government representative admitting that the work was not done. 2 months ago, there was a different story. I was being told straight in my face, yes, the rivers are clear, there's no bush in them. There's even a ridiculous comment that we could eat breakfast on the bed of the Maraval River and so on. I mean, it's becoming ridiculous. And that's why I started off by saying that the flood has already happened. We have to go forward now. And two things need to be done. One of them is coordinate the relief effort better, because that's also quite incorrect to say that relief is being given in an efficient manner. It's not true. I mean, for example, yesterday I spent several hours climbing some hillsides in my own constituency, where 4 houses have been more or less been destroyed in the Moncoko Road area, and they're not getting any government help. I mean, I went there, I took down the details of their problem, but I mean, these are houses collapsing on top of houses, crashing through other houses, landslides coming down. In one particular instance, it was because of some road works that had been done within the last year by a government agency that was done without proper drainage on a mountainside in the Moncoko Road area, which caused huge trees to come down the mountain and crash into these houses. But the point I'm making, there weren't any government agencies there. It was just community help, people from the area helping out these people. And my challenge now, having visited these 4 houses who have made the news, who are not being dealt with by the Social Welfare Division, is to get the government agencies now to help these people, to send labor to clear the mud and debris out of their homes, to clean their houses, and then to see what the agencies can do to restore the structure and perhaps put in some drainage and so on to prevent them. Now, that's just one area. That's just one. There are other areas like the Lower Lasaiva area, where up to this morning as I came down to this interview, I'm still seeing a considerable amount of mud on the road in the Lower La Saiva area. Now, this flooding occurred on Saturday. Today's Thursday. My own experience in the past is that it takes about 2 days to clear up this debris. We're into the 5th day. So if someone tells me that the relief effort is being properly coordinated and being done efficiently, I can't agree.
The minister has stated, Warner, that because of the magnitude of this disaster, one, was also unexpected, and two, that things may happen in phases. They cannot reach every single affected resident.
I don't accept that. And you see, this is what I'm beginning to wonder. What kind of country are we living in? You know, I made a comment the other day that I think I'm living in North Korea. You know, in North Korea, you have to salute the great leader. And even if you're starving to death, you have to say, life is wonderful. This is the general view of North Korea. And I'm beginning to feel that that's what this country is turning into, that, you know, you look at a river, you see 6 feet of mud in it. You go to Parliament, you point this out, and the government would look at you straight in the face and say, no, that's not true. The river's clean. And then you will go into your constituency and nobody's getting help, or certain people are not getting any assistance whatsoever. The government will say everybody's being dealt with, you know, and the agencies are helping them out and so on. I don't understand what is going on. I don't understand why the government does not deal with issues frontally. I get the impression they're afraid of criticism. I get the impression that public relations is very important to them. So if you criticize them, they fly into a rage, but they don't deal with the issues.
Now, specifically with the dredging of the river, the minister has stated that even if the rivers were, work was done on the rivers, it could not have been avoided, that the flooding situation could not have been avoided.
But then we better close down the drainage division. I mean, that's a silly statement. How can anybody in their right mind accept that? And that's the point I'm making. Are we supposed to accept that? So don't dredge the Caroni River then, because it wouldn't make a difference. Nonsense. I saw an estimate of damage in the Diego Martin region of $109 million. Yes. And there's a funny article in the, I call it funny, but I don't mean funny, haha, I mean funny strange. You know, the Express called me and they asked me for a comment. I made a comment that I don't understand the purpose of the estimate. What's the point of saying that there's $100 million damage? What does that mean? Does that mean you're going to compensate the homeowners, or are you just saying it just to say it, as something to say? The point is, the Diego Martin Corporation is responsible for minor watercourses in the Diego Martin region. Did they clean them? No. So I would think that they should be focusing on the fact that they have not been able to fulfill their mandate.
So you're saying that both the corporation and the Ministry of Local Government dropped the ball on this matter?
Definitely. I mean, there are drains in the Pity Valley area, for example, which are very sensitive. You see, the Diego Martin area is very sensitive because a lot of the population is in the low-lying part of Diego Martin. The rivers, the ravines, the watercourses, they're very sensitive to flood water. They have to be kept clean. A simple obstruction in any one of these rivers or ravines causes overtopping and causes flooding. That's why cleaning of the watercourses in Diego Martin is so important. I'm certain it's the same in Caroni, that there are many areas in Caroni very sensitive to rainfall, that if you don't keep them clean, the drains clean, you're going to get flooding. What the corporation should have been doing for the last year or two that they've been, that the new administration has been in, is engaging in an aggressive drain cleaning program, but they haven't.
But didn't the government launch a massive cleanup program throughout the country, which they have stated is being sustained? I think this was after the last set of major floods the country suffered. I'm
not aware of that. I mean, that's the problem I'm having. Look at what you are telling me. But I know as a fact there's a drain in Pity Valley, down in the Pearl Gardens area. As I said, very, very sensitive to rainfall. It wasn't cleaned. And that is one of the areas that was most severely affected by this flood. The La Saiva area is low-lying. It's a low point in the Maraval River. If you don't clean the Maraval River, La Saiva is going to flood. They didn't clean the river. La Saiva flood. I mean, this is not rocket science. The La Hoquette River wasn't cleaned. Glencoe flooded. The Rich Plain Ravine wasn't clean. Rich Plain flooded. I mean, when is this government going to get serious? There's nothing complex or difficult about awarding contracts to clean rivers and ravines. What's the big deal? Why is it so hard for them? And then when they don't do their work, all you hear is double speak. propaganda
Well,
and annoyance coming from them.
The response that they have been able to coordinate is better than any other response that it's been.
Well, that's the point I was making about you declared Diego Martin a disaster area. What does that mean? In the United States, when the President of the United States declares an area a disaster area, the army goes in, okay? All the resources of the government of the United States go into that area. They set up a flood relief program. They relocate residents. They concentrate all the resources in that area. I would assume that if in Trinidad and Tobago, the government is declaring Diego Martin a disaster area, it must have some meaning. It's not just a word.
But they've done that. They've set up help centers. I think the Minister of the
Now
People
let's come to that. The former Minister of Social Development, Dr. Brown, was pointing out to me yesterday, and I must compliment him on this program. He's always the first on the scene. Eh? You know, Amory's always there. Flood happened now. 1 hour later, Amory's out in the field trying to help. I have to give him his points for that. But he was pointing out to me that in the past, the social welfare workers would visit the homes of affected residents. So they would go out into the field, they would go to the houses that have been damaged, they would assess the damage that people have suffered, and then they would prepare a program of how to assist these people. Under this new administration, there's a new thing. They don't go out into the field anymore. The people have to come.
But this is a disaster of a magnitude that we've never seen in that area, one. And they're saying, since they've declared it a disaster zone, that there will be help centers. The army has been deployed. They've locked off certain areas. So, and they're looking at the length of time in terms of going out, the paperwork involved.
Let me develop my point. How can you tell somebody whose house has been destroyed that he must stop cleaning up his house, stop worrying about how he's going to get food on the table tomorrow, whatever? How is he going to recover his life, his possessions, and so on? Tell him, stop all of that, and find yourself in a community center about 5 miles away to be interviewed by someone. When the established practice worldwide is that the relief agencies go to the homes of the affected people. That's number one. And number two, if the officers and the agents are not going into the field to assess the damage, how do they know the damage has actually occurred? A whole bunch of imposters could turn up in the community center and say, my house is damaged. Since the new approach is you don't go to the home, how do you know these people have suffered damage?
So you mean they're not giving follow-up visits, as in someone comes and then they would...
But that's not what people need. People need immediate action. That's the point I'm making. I was in the Moncoko Road yesterday area, and there are 4 houses severely damaged. And these people are being told, go to the relief centers and tell them what's... That's nonsense. Why aren't the agencies there with these people in their homes trying to deal with the situation?
Listen, we do have to take a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. Relief efforts, Diego Martin, several parts of the country, they've been declared a disaster zone, disaster area. The army is out in its numbers. The Minister of National Security has stated that he goes there every single day. Let's take a very short break. We'll be back after this.
Our vision, making it happen, we're making a difference, here and now, across the land, Trinidad and Tobago, open your eyes, realize there's so much waiting for you.
Republic Bank Limited, in collaboration with TNT Blind Welfare Association, present Vision Caravan from May to September 2012 throughout rural Trinidad and Tobago. Come have your eyes tested and experience a new vision. See press for details.
Open your eyes, become aware, make use of what's here for you. Be part of the vision now.
In celebration of Republic Bank's 175th anniversary, Vision Caravan.
Home renos have never been easier with the professional and reliable staff at Pioneer Enterprises Limited. We pride ourselves in supplying and installing beautiful PVC, gypsum and the suspended ceiling. Find out more about our steel doors and other ceiling accessories. We also supply and install exquisite hardwood and laminate floors. Let Pioneer Enterprises Limited fulfill your home renovations with ease. Call us today at 650-3394 or 310-1720.
The Ministry of the Arts and Multiculturalism and Airi Theatre Productions Limited present Eric the Musical, written by Zeno Constance. The production features the life and times of the late Dr. Eric Williams, father of the nation. It's a dramatic telling of his life and his political contribution. Lord Kitchener Auditorium, Napa, August 17th and 18th, 8 p.m. Tickets just $50. Available at Napa Box Office. For more information, call 627-1104 or visit our website, culture.gov.tt. A golden celebration of our creative genius.
Baker Enterprises of Trin City and Abercrombie Street has a wide selection of newly designed independent supplies and party decorations. You can also find a wide range of locally inspired polos and souvenirs. Give us a visit at 79 Abercrombie Street or Trin City. Baker Enterprises Limited, the one preferred by customers. CNC3 News presents the 50 most influential personalities from 1962 to 2012. Tune in to CNC3 and vote via text or vote online. Every day from here on, view our profiles on 50 outstanding contributors in art, culture, politics, business, labor, science, medicine, and community service. The top 5 most influential personalities voted by you will be revealed on August 31st, 2012. Vote for whom you consider to be the most influential personality. You have the power to decide.
Need fishing gear? Yes, we have that too. With over 60 years experience, fishing rods, garden tools, paint, product spare parts, plumbing, bathroom, lumber, steel, and all other hardware supplies at competitive prices. Southern Wholesale Stores Limited. Visit our website or come in today at 185 Union Road, Marabella. Southern Wholesale Stores Limited. More than just a hardware.
Register now for AmCham TNT's 16th annual HSSE Conference and Exhibition, September 26 and 27. Be part of this informative experience as we explore the theme HSSE Excellence, Pathway to Sustainable Development, with featured speaker Robert F. Kennedy Jr., visionary environmental business leader and advocate. For details, call 622-4466 or 628-2508, extension 225, or visit www.amchamtt.com. That's www.amchamtt.com.
It did not last long, just 2 hours of rainfall for what many say is likely the worst disaster they've seen. This is La Hoquette Road in Glencoe, the river having overflowed its banks. The houses here stood little chance, the cars on the road too. But just a stone's throw away, the real effect of the disaster was becoming more apparent. The road completely washed away. Residents who lived further up could do nothing but look on as works crew assessed the damage. This left close to 2,000 people living further up the road completely marooned, but there was hope.
As you see, the bridge sort of low, and with all the debris and that came down from the flooding, it blocked the entrance of the bridge. So you had no hydraulic capacity, so everything came on the road, and that is what caused the road to fail. The washer lines fail, a cylinder crossing fail. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we have to do, have materials come in. We're going to use a revetment, reinstate portion of the roadway so WASA could get back the 2 mains. Once that has happened, then the next step is to get back the cross drain, and then hopefully in a few hours' time we could have the road temporarily reinstated so people get in and out.
Further up, the entire road destroyed. Many of the residents living here telling us the water came gushing down the hill early this morning, ripping the asphalt completely apart. One man was injured and had to be taken by the military to the area beyond the broken road to be carried for treatment. Across at Professor Einstein Avenue in Petite Valley, residents threw buckets of water out of their houses. They too hard hit.
Everything gone, everything is destroyed. Yeah, basically. That's about. Yeah, let's take a look. Go on. Well, we cleaned out most of it, but you can see the water line inside the house and stuff like that. Right. You know, all the furniture, where the fridge, the stove, everything, beds, everything started floating away.
Almost everywhere in the vicinity, streets caked with thick layers of mud. Across the highway, TSTT also hard hit. A car lies toppled in their Diego Martin station. The wall gone, cables affected. Wherever we went, more and more of the disaster. Furniture destroyed, people doing what they could to clean up, others outside walking with supplies. In the air, helicopters with the authorities surveying the damage. On the ground, heavy equipment and emergency crew mobilized by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management. Diego Martin has seen flooding before, but not quite like this. And the chilling sounds no one wants to hear. As an ambulance rushed by taking the injured to hospital, in some cases electricity and telephone services went down, making this an even more difficult task to deal with as cleanup operations continued very late into the evening. For CNC3, I'm Samson Anton.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramson. Thanks so much for staying with us. We're looking at Diego Martin being declared a disaster area. The Minister of National Security, an emergency meeting was held yesterday in one of the relief centers that has been set up. A number of ministers were present. What's happening in Diego Martin?
All right, just let me correct something that you had said. I was out in my area for all of Tuesday and all of yesterday, and I didn't see a single member of the Defense Force. I didn't see any military. So this story about how the army is out in force, they may be, but not in my constituency.
But for some area to be declared a disaster zone, would it not mean?
Well, let me come to that. It's just a cliche. It means nothing in our context. And I wonder for how long are people going to take this kind of old talk? I have to go back to last year. We had a terrible flooding in 2011. The Prime Minister and her entourage visited, they toured, and then literally nothing. We've had a terrible disaster now throughout the whole region of Diego Martin, more so in the west. Fortunately, although my area had some serious damage, we were spared the kind of damage that we suffered in November 2011. It was more in Diego Martin Central, more in the central part of Diego Martin and the west part. They were very badly affected. But when the government uses a term or terminology like disaster area, what does it mean? And I mean, this has got to stop. When other countries declare an area disaster area, as you say, they may declare martial law. Yeah, they may send the army in because there's looting, the point you were making. And they may take over the local government in the area, and the Defense Force takes over and so on. Then you have state agencies coming in, they set up a flood relief program, they may start up a compensation fund, this sort of thing. That's not happening here. There's no infrastructure, there's no system, there's no procedure for this. So why say Diego Martin is a disaster area?
When I heard the term,
it's meaningless.
When I heard the term, I actually, because the last time I remember just putting it to the New Orleans situation, when an area is declared a disaster area, there's a potential for lawlessness, looting, all utilities, no electricity, no phone lines, no connection. So literally there's a potential for unrest to take place, so they send the army in. So I would assume that that's happening there in these areas, that the army is now out in its numbers protecting and preventing, because people's entire life savings, what they can salvage, is still there.
No, and there's a point I want to make. The people at the lower end of the income spectrum, their houses are not of the highest standard, and a lot of them have suffered severe damage. Houses have collapsed and so on. Then you have the lower middle class, and so on. And quite a few of the lower middle class areas, and people have lost all their possessions. I visited a family in the Dorrington Gardens house area yesterday. And I saw all the possessions out on the side of the road, everything gone. You know, fridge, stove, TV, bed, everything, completely destroyed. And I asked the guy, I said, did you have insurance? He said, no. So he now has to start from scratch to rebuild his life. Okay, he's living in a fairly good neighborhood, but he has lost every single thing. And he's a pensioner when I look at the person. How does someone like that reconstruct their life if there is not a disaster compensation fund? In November 2011, there's an area in my constituency at the end of the Saddle Road by KFC. It's called Gittins Flats. The country club wall collapsed and all the water came through the country club area and flooded out every single apartment inside of that area. They're rental apartments, about 40 of them. Government officials arrived. I think Mr. Warner came. Told him, write down everything that you have lost. Give us a list. You know, so people dutifully filled out the list. You know, the damage ran into hundreds of thousands of dollars. But there's no system to compensate them. So what's the point of telling people, we will assist you, but there's no procedure? Even in today's paper, you will see the chairman of the Dega Martin Corporation conceding that all you have is the grants from the Social Welfare Ministry, which is for low-income people, to give you about $5,000 to recover.
Does the Prime Minister not say that funds were made available to the various agencies and to the various ministries, specifically local government, the Ministry of the People, to assist in this?
It's all misleading. The funding in a disaster is for people at the lowest end of the income spectrum. So you have an income ceiling, you have to qualify as a needy person, and your relief is limited to, say, $5,000. Now, you take someone who's just lost $100,000 in all their household possessions. First, they don't qualify because they don't meet the income requirements. And then, even if they qualified, what they would get is $5,000. What the developed countries have done, and that's why I say we have to look forward, forget looking back. The flood has happened. No point in dwelling on that. Let's go forward now. As if we are going to be a progressive country, then we have to adopt progressive systems as they have in these developed countries. And the government needs to put in a system to assist people to get compensation for their losses during a flood situation.
The need for a constituency fund, do you think that this reaffirms the Prime Minister's case or validates the Prime Minister's case that there needs to be some sort of constituency fund to deal with situations such as this?
Well, I would think that idea came from actually, and I'll give him I don't want to use a word like credit, but I'll give him he was the originator. This is Chandra Sharma. He had been pushing that for years, for more than 10, 15 years, but he was of the view that MPs should be given access to an allocation to deal with specific projects in their constituency. I see now that he's in government, he has managed to persuade the cabinet to implement the idea. The thing about that is that not enough is known about it. If in fact it can be allocated to deal with critical infrastructure needs of a constituency, for example, that same Mount Coco area that I visited yesterday, they need some retaining walls, they need some drainage systems, otherwise their houses will come tumbling down next year. If that infrastructure fund can be properly managed without mismanagement, without corruption, and be directed to assist people like that, then I would be in favor of it. But there's not enough known about this fund. How is it going to work? You know, what does an opposition MP do? Does he send in a list and say, all right, these are the critical infrastructure needs in my constituency, and you know, this is the time frame within which I want them done. And then what happens after that? You know, so I think it's a little nebulous, but if it could be properly focused and directed, and it would yield the results that you know, people need, then I would be in favor of it.
We have to take a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. Do stay with us.
Relive fond memories of the Treehouse at Driftwood Restaurant and Boothside Bar, located at Tradewinds Hotel, San Fernando. Enjoy small buffet breakfast, a la carte lunch and dinner served daily. Sunday buffet breakfast. Wednesday, 2 meets poolside barbecue with live pan. Friday night entertainment. And Saturday nights, order our lobster dinner at half price. Dine outdoors, poolside, or enjoy AC dining indoors. Your wish is our command. Come and enjoy great ambience and have a good time. For reservations, call 376-0907 or 290-1305 through 8.
Our cricketers, our heroes, a nation forged from the love of cricket.
Come celebrate Trinidad and Tobago's half-century with 2020 for 50 Cricket Festival, featuring the TNT and Jamaica national teams, and our very own Brian Lara and Darren Ganga all-star teams with regional and international cricket stars. Queen's Park Oval, August 24th to 26th. 2 games daily, 2:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. Get your 2020 for 50 tickets today at selected sports and games outlets and Queen's Park Ticket Outlet.
To be equal, to live in a society that responds to you without prejudice, to be treated fairly no matter what your background may be, regardless of race or religion, regardless of geographic location, gender, or any disability you may have. It's not just an idea we should live by, but an ideal that our children can look up to, that our communities can aspire to, that our employers must embrace. But it's more than that. It is the right of every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. It is a right that is championed and upheld by the Equal Opportunity Commission. The EOC is about educating, breaking down barriers, and eliminating obstacles to truly empower people on the basis of their merit. This is the mission of the Equal Opportunity Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. Equality is everyone's dream. It's everyone's right.
Shake there, shake, hoop, hoop, everywhere shake, hoop, E-I-E-I-O. Sucker party, over with Centel.
1 dose of Centel eliminates most common words. Deworm your family with Centel.
Yeah, babe. Ray, we now leaving here and we real hungry. Food? So food ready?
Hand jack.
But like my baby spent whole day cooking, now that's a table to be proud of.
And only the best for my baby. Rainbow corned beef, darling. Rainbow corned beef.
Get the news first. Read The Guardian newspaper anytime, anywhere, online. Take advantage of our special introductory offer of just $4.99 US per month and receive daily a digital replication of the printed newspapers as seen on newsstands. It's convenient and environmentally friendly. Act now. Log on to www.guardian.co.tt to sign up today. Get the Guardian e-edition now. We give you the power in your hands.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. Ministry of Works to blame for the situation. Could it have been avoided? Could the losses have been a lot less? Joining us on set now, Diego Martin, Northeast MP Colin Livingston. But we just have a few minutes so we wrap this interview. A number of bridges gave way. Roads have been destroyed. Highways were closed. Retaining walls collapsed. The structural integrity of these structures, and many of these structures were put up by the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. Some of them may be older than 2 years old. But then it brings me to the question, how safe are these structures? And two, if we have to depend on ministry structures and they are failing at times like this, what does it say about our development plans for the future?
Well, clearly the ministry has to revisit the parameters that it uses to design these structures. But I want to make a point. These structures are not designed for an extreme event where you have a river that is already full of silt being diluted with even more silt and so on. So it's very complicated, but there's absolutely no doubt that the government agencies need to revisit the design parameters that they use with respect to these structures, no doubt whatsoever. Because these structures are not supposed to fail like that. But that to me is one aspect of things. I want to go back to the issue of the minister making a statement that if the rivers had been cleaned, it would not have made any difference. Now that's absolutely ridiculous, and I am not accepting that, and I don't think any right-thinking person would accept that kind of talk.
He said the hills became saturated, and I'm paraphrasing what was said in the interview. The hills were saturated, and as a result, everything came down.
All right, it's simple science. If the river is already full of rocks and mud, the water can't run off the hills. It stays on the hills. The hills become waterlogged. You have landslides. As I said, it's not rocket science. There's a fella, I'll say this, I know I'm going to get into some hot water for saying this. There's a guy who's been harassing me, criticizing me for years. His name is Peter O'Connor. I don't know if you've heard of him. And he was always lambasting me, saying that the solution to flooding in Port of Spain is to clean the drains. He said, once you clean the drains, you minimize the problem of flooding. My approach had always been, look, the drains in Port of Spain can't handle the amount of water. They were built 100 years ago. But you know, the fella is right. I've concluded, yes, that once you clean these water courses, you're going to have the best possible chance of avoiding the kind of devastation that we've seen. As I said, we must go forward. With this government, they are so thin-skinned, they can't take criticism. When you tell them something, you say, clean the river, they fly into a rage. And rather than cleaning the river, they spend the next 6 months attacking the person who made the comment. That is not how a country should be governed. And all of these public relations exercises, going to visit the flooding area, and then nothing happens afterwards. That too is just wrong. And my whole thing with all of this is that the rivers are now even more full of silt than they were before. I've looked at them, and I see where there was 3 feet of silt, there's now 5 feet of silt. And what the government needs to do now, after they deal with the immediate problem of helping people out, they need to put more efforts in. The social ministry needs to send their workers into the field. It's wrong of them to tell affected people to come to the center. They need to send the government officials to the people's homes. But after they've dealt with this situation, they need to clean the rivers and drains, because the rainy season will run until December.
Yeah,
it's going to happen again.
Unregulated development on the hillsides. That's a statement that we've been hearing
I've heard
for quite
that.
a while.
That to me is a bit of a cop-out. Where are these unregulated developments?
But you look towards the hills, Mr. Imbert, and you see it.
Where? Can you tell me?
Well, specifically in the Diego Martin and Mara Valley.
Tell me where.
Well, I don't live there, so I can't list it out.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen on the internet a picture of a hillside that has been scarred by cutting. And this thing is being promoted by supporters of the present government as the reason for the floods in Diego Martin. I took a good look at it, and I said to myself, wait a minute, that is the Capildeo quarry in Pitti Valley, which is run by the Capildeo family, been in existence for almost 50 years. It's 5 miles to the east of the La Hoquette River. There are 3 rivers in between. It could have no possible effect on the Glencoe River, on the Rich Plain situation. Yet, that is being touted. It's easy to say unregulated development. Of course, unregulated development has an effect. But where are these unregulated developments?
But you must
that have
admit
caused
that
the flooding?
the type of flooding that we've seen within the last 2 years is something that is almost a phenomena, I think, but it's now becoming a regular norm. So something is definitely happening.
Listen, I go back to my Caparo story. I remember 5, 6 years ago, the drainage division engineers came to me, and they said, look, we think we can deal with the problem of flooding in Caparo. I said, how? They said, we're just going to keep dredging that river. And I said, what do you need? They said, we just need the resources. I said, go ahead. And they dredged the Caparo River non-stop, and we had the worst rainfall that year. Caparo did not flood. The point I'm making is that it's a cop-out for a government that has not cleaned the rivers to say it's unregulated development. It's also a cop-out for them to say, again, to say that, because they're in charge. So who is in charge of regulating developments? Not them. So it's himself blaming himself, but in a smart way.
Now, Town and Country obviously has a role to play in that system.
No, but Town and Country sometimes would turn down a development, and the minister would approve it, you know? So, you know, there's a lot of old talk in this whole thing. If the problem is unregulated development, then what is this present administration doing? What's the Diego Martin Corporation doing, which has responsibility for regulating development for that? You know, people say things, we miss the big picture. The chairman says 100 million in flood damage. What did he do and his council do to regulate development in Diego Martin and to clear the drains in Diego Martin?
Listen, we just have a minute till we wrap this interview. We've covered a number of topics this morning. Your closing comments to Trinidad and Tobago?
My closing comments to the government is to stop the public relations, do what you can do, which is hire equipment, devote resources, and get all these rivers and waterways clean, and not just in Diego Martin. Speaking for the whole country now. Get out there and do an aggressive drainage program. The government has neglected the cleaning of rivers over the last 2 years. I'm not making an empty statement. The Drainage Division needs far more resources than it is being allocated.
The Drainage Division needs more resources. A disaster area, that's what the label, the title has been given. What does it mean? I'm Hema Ramsoon. I'll take a very short break. I'll see you after this.
Tile Expression Eid Tile Sale now on. 8x12, $2.95. 16x16, $7.50. 17x17, $7.95. 12x12, $3.95. 18x18, $8.95. 24x24, $29. Also available thin set, grout, strips, and more. Prices valid while stocks last. Visit Tile Expression Limited, Monroe Road, Cunupia, near the mosque. Phone 693-0015 or 693-1528.
Justin never had a lot of toys. His bike was basically all he had. He rode that bike and rode that bike and rode that bike. Now look at him, speeding all over the world, representing his country. I'm proud of my son, making local history, even making world history. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting to #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
Come to Unique Books and Sports Center. We've got all your new school books for both primary and secondary schools at the lowest prices. Save money with our instant cashback when you bring your used secondary school books. We have a wide selection of book bags, stationery supplies, uniforms, and many in-store specials. Get 33 and 30% off all school shoes. Shop now and receive our exclusive 50-year commemorative pin absolutely free. Be sure to visit Unique Books and Sports Center now, with convenient branches located at Port of Spain, San Fernando, Chaguanas, and Pinal.
Lady Ho Choi was born Thelma Edna Huggins in St. Madeleine, Trinidad. She was married to Solomon Ho Choi in 1935. Her husband's eventual appointment to the position of Governor General provided her with the social leverage and political clout to bring the suffering of the less fortunate into focus. In 1957, Lady Ho Choi visited the St. James Infirmary, then known as the House of Refuge, and came face to face with the conditions under which its 25 mentally challenged children lived. Moved by compassion, she founded a committee that would later become the Trinidad and Tobago Association for Retarded Children. In 1961, the first residential center, the Lady Ho Choi Home, was opened in Cocorite. Additional centers were built in Arima, Gasparillo, and Pinal to cater to the needs of families outside of Port of Spain. In the 1970s, yet another home was established in the heights of Guanapo. Lady Ho Choi is also credited with the restoration of the Catholic Church's buildings in Las Cuevas and La Fillette.
The 50 most influential personalities since independence. We want your view via text on Facebook and online at 50tt.guardian.co.tt.
You're talking to your best friend when
You're getting a clean day, family.
you get cash back.
Yeah, darling.
You're talking to your best friend when you realize you're always a winner. You're talking to your best friend when you get a makeover. You suddenly feel like dancing. Every dog gets its day. You have your cake and eat it too. Nightfall. You're talking to your best friend. Whatever else happens, always get extraordinary value with Digicel. Get $1 cash back for every paid minute on local Digi-to-Digi calls made during the day, so you can talk more at night. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
It's really one bank. You can depend on friendly service every day. It's really one standard of treating you like you deserve to be. Yeah, Republic is only the best to you. We get personal attention, so explain for your inspection.
Back Trinidad and Tobago. Buy local. Well, a buy local campaign is back in the midst of the country's 50th independence celebrations. The Trinidad and Tobago Local Content Chamber is calling for local content legislation to be implemented to guard against neo-colonialism. Well, those are some bad words that we're hearing around. We're celebrating 50 years of independence. Joining us on set, Lennox Sergio Singh and Douglas Boyce. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Very good, thanks.
Now, Ms. Boyce, maybe we can start with you. Buy local. This isn't the first time that we've had a buy local campaign. The reason for it now?
Well, we felt with us celebrating the 50 years of independence, it'd be a good time to remind the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that part of being independent is being able to provide our own products and services and be proud of that fact. So what we want to do is just stress on the support of the local economy, the support of local manufacturers, the support of local service companies, and use this as an excuse just to go to that extra step to integrate or bring in the products and services a little bit more.
Mr. Singh, neo-colonialism? Some might say that's a very strong word to use.
And I make no apologies for saying it, because we of the Local Content Chamber, by our members, have had so many complaints about attempts being made by foreign companies to literally raise the bar, shift the goalposts. We believe that what is happening here now with some big countries is simply, since they do not control us politically, their aim is to control us economically. Tell me, why do we need so many foreigners pushing wheelbarrows in Trinidad and Tobago when they come here with a work permit, which includes an understudy? They can't speak a word of English. Do you need an understudy to push a wheelbarrow or make cement? And therefore, we are saying the local content legislation is necessary, one. Local content has so many definite benefits. There are no two ways about it, that local content means money staying here. Local content means value added to the national community. We're talking about the future of Trinidad and Tobago. I said at the consultation recently, a future of Trinidad and Tobago without local content, we are doomed.
Now, here's the flip side of that argument. We're living in a globalized environment, and one, protecting and putting special protectionist measures in place may not necessarily do much to increase our competitiveness, and our competitive index is woefully low at this time.
Yeah, we are not for a minute saying that 100% of this thing must be local. I agree, we support fully the concept of glocal, being global as well as local.
Okay.
So that's a phrase, and we must respect that, because just as we are looking at doing work in Suriname and West Africa and wherever around it, we certainly must allow them to come into, but we are saying there's a certain level of local content that will be built into contracts. For example, Nigeria, in 2 years, they have enacted legislation. They have held a summit to discuss whether they haven't follow-up workshops and so on. We were invited. I did a presentation there on advocacy for local content development. They are talking about development across the board now, what we have been saying for the past 2 years.
Legislation, how far off are we? And what are you doing to convince the government that we actually need it?
I'd say we're pretty far off. We have been meeting with the various stakeholders and ministries, etc. What we've seen is the Ministry of Energy, because they have a permanent local
That would have been my
committee.
example. They
Yes.
use local content as part of the contracts that they're negotiating.
But it's not enforced, it's not regulated, it's not overseen. So there are a number of complaints. I spoke to somebody in the Ministry of Energy a few days ago, and they're inundated with calls from various service providers, manufacturers, that they're not getting an equal opportunity and not getting an opportunity at all to provide services or products. So the legislation is well needed, but in our discussions we are being told that it's being drafted, there is a push towards it, but we're not seeing any tangible move for it as yet.
And why do you think there's a level of hesitation, Mr. Surjit Singh?
Well, legislation is the only way. Moral suasion hasn't worked.
Yeah.
You know, we have tried it, we are hoping for it, but it has not worked. And legislation, as so many countries have done. You know, ironically, we have a Trinidadian member of my chamber who is all over the world helping people draft legislation and doing a consultancy service. And lo and behold, in Trinidad and Tobago, after 8 years of a permanent local content committee, no legislation. So we are saying legislation because legislation will include monitoring, evaluating, going over, seeing what needs to be changed and so on. We are hearing, for example, that local content is mentioned in cabinet so often.
Right.
Okay, but what beyond that? Let us walk the talk.
Now, you obviously have stated that moral persuasion has not really done much. Now, who have you spoken with in the government, and what ministry particularly or specifically does this fall under?
Well, to say which ministry it falls under, I really couldn't answer that. But again, through the Ministry of Energy, our focus has come out of the energy sector because of, the local content committee is part of the Ministry of Energy. I don't know how many Trinidadians are aware, but we do have a policy on local content, and it's quite a well-written document, and it gives all the points, the areas where we can focus on to develop the legislation that then we can ensure participation.
Now, moving beyond that, we're celebrating 50 years of independence. We're talking about the use of local labor, the use of local products. Do you think that we are the same quality, the same standard, even productivity, to foreign labor, to foreign products, to foreign services?
We may or may not. The fact is that we haven't done the research to determine that, whether we do. But the thing is that we have so many companies ISO certified. We have so many goods and services that have been used locally and found to be suitable. So in the absence of any definite research, we cannot say that our products are inferior. We have had this penchant for foreign, once in my foreign. The example, for example, long ago when you buy a bulb in Trinidad, before you reach home you say the bulb won't work. So nobody buy bulbs abroad again, because that sector, for example, has moved to such a standard that we can compete with anybody globally. And we have it in goods as well as services. And this is what we are stressing. There are services also available. So buy local, sometimes it's just food.
Right, yes, because I don't know why normally, maybe there was a buy local campaign that concentrated around the agriculture sector at one time.
50 years later, our manufacturing sector has so developed that we need now to get it out to people, and that's the purpose of our campaign.
I suppose, how are you going to integrate this into the psyche of the local population? Mr. Singh is right, we do have a culture of foreign is better.
Well, again, a part of this is to educate people and advise people, again, awareness. You know, when you walk into simple things in groceries or you're buying a service, maybe what we can do as individuals is just stop and take a minute to reflect on where these products and services are coming out of, and what are we doing to support our national economy and the growth and development. I totally agree that in some instances our products and services can't compete with the international products and services, but we've got to give it time to grow and develop and become world-class status. And I think, you know, we should be willing to accept at sometimes it's not a first world product, and accept the fact and give it a little bit more leverage because it is a locally produced item or local service.
I fully support local. I buy almost everything in my house and my kitchen locally. Local companies must be given equal status as foreign companies, because when you give us a loan to do a project and then you give a foreign company, nothing stays here except the final product. Explain that statement.
Well, the fact is that when we have these contracts, what we are saying, some part of it should be towards benefiting our local people and the value added, and the question of next time such a thing is to be done, we should be capable of doing it. Whether that has happened, I don't know. 40 years ago, we built the Solomon Hochoi Highway. Today, Brazilians building the highway. When the same bridges, the same roads, the same interchanges will have to be built, which we have been doing 40, 50 years now. Foreigners are doing it.
The value add and the value chain, most of the times, the majority of the profits, the benefits would be middle to downstream. The majority of the benefits, where are they going?
Sorry?
In terms of the value add, and we're looking at the tangible contributions, do you think that enough of it is staying locally?
Oh, no. For instance, in our subsector, I'm in the energy sector and we're in the subsea side of business. When an international contractor comes into Trinidad, they spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 9 months here in Trinidad, and all funds are repatriated out of the country.
Mr. Singh, we have a minute again, so we'll wrap this interview. Your closing comments.
Well, we are appealing to the national committee, and let me say thanks to the Trinidad Guardian for covering our report. We had a press conference on Monday, despite the hype at Piaco, they were there, and we are telling people, have an open mind on local content and local goods, and bear in mind is the future of Trinidad and Tobago. As I say, in local parlance, we ought to provide a food for our children to eat.
A food for our children to eat. Buy local. Ensure that you support the local manufacturing, services, all of the sectors. Really and truly, we are celebrating 50 years of independence. We've done so much and achieved so much in our country. It's time we start respecting our own. The Trinidad and Tobago Local Content Chamber is calling for legislation. Come on, get your voices and let them be heard. I'm Hema Ramkissoon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.